Hey traders, welcome back to another daily profit and loss recap video. Today I took a loss of $688 with two trades, one of them a winning trade and one of them a bigger losing trade. And in this video I'm going to break down these trades. Hopefully you can take some value from them and learn some things from my mistakes and apply them to your own trading to improve your trading yourself. So let's go ahead and get right into this first trade. This was the losing trade for me today. On this trade alone, I took a loss of $886, and this was with the stock symbol ATTO. ATTO, if we take a look at the trade plans in the Market Master group, was in the trade plans last night. This was a big mover on Tuesday, and it was setting up for a recovery now that there was a really solid inside bar setup going on the daily chart. This is what we were looking at last night. The fact that we have this big move up on Tuesday, we get this inside bar because this candlestick is completely within the range of this previous day's momentum candle. And typically what we would be looking for in this setup would be that the candle today would open somewhere in the range of the previous day's close, and it would start to push above the high of this inside bar. That's going to be our breakout signal, and that's where we would look to buy into this breakout for a push back up towards the high of the bigger momentum candle. So with all of that being said, today was a little bit tricky with this stock because of the fact that it did actually gap up above that breakout level in pre-market. So it wasn't really the exact setup that I was looking for. I wanted it to open within this range and then intraday start to break out above that level. But I bought some shares into the gap up, and if we take a look at the intraday chart up here, we can see that it kind of has been fading for most of the morning so far. I took my initial position up here as it was breaking above the VWAP. At about 317. I added into this dip down here because I saw that it was starting to get bought back up. And of course, what I was expecting in that case was that it was going to form this higher low, and then following that, it was going to form a higher high, but it ends up rejecting VWAP. My risk level was down here at the morning low, which in this case was $2.80. So I started to sell and cut losses on this trade after it rejected VWAP and it started to fall back into my risk level. On that trade, again, I took a loss of $886. Not super upset with the trade overall, but at the same time, the setup definitely changed because of the fact that the stock gapped up this morning. So if I was to take anything from this trade, it should be that I should be a little bit more patient with my entries. There was really no need for me to kind of chase the stock up here at 317. I should have waited for my initial entry to be down here during this higher low, and then at that point, this would have been a much smaller loss, or I even would have had a chance to lock in some profits once it started to reject the VWAP. But moving on to the winning trade for me today, this was a very small win. It was WLDS. WLDS was another stock gapping up in pre-market. If we take a look over here in the Market Master group, every single morning we post the stocks that are gapping up as well as the opening range breakouts for the stocks that are gapping up with the best potential for a gap and go. One of those today was WLDS. The opening range breakout level was $1.97. If we go ahead and draw that breakout level here on the chart, we can see that that breakout level is all the way down here. So pretty much right at the market open, the very following candle, at least after the market open, it started to break above that opening range breakout level, and I started to buy some shares just above $2 per share. And what I was seeing at the time, the reason that this was such a small win for me is that if we take out the momentum that we've seen happen over the past 20 or 30 minutes or so, we can see that we have a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern that was forming here. And at that point, I had already been in this trade for 15 or 20 minutes or so. I wasn't really liking the setup as much at that point because of this head and shoulders pattern that we saw forming. And I was kind of thinking that there was a good chance this was going to break down back under that opening range breakout level and start to pull back towards the morning lows. So I was locking in some profits into the 210 area. If we take a look at the 1 minute chart, that area as well as the 220 area were both acting as some resistance. Here's 210, up here is the 220 area. So I didn't want to get greedy with this and watch it turn into a losing trade. And because of that, I took a small profit on this trade. And so far, it's ended up having a pretty solid run up to a high of 236. So I did definitely miss out on some profits on that trade. Now, another one that was posted as a potential gap and go this morning with the opening range breakout level of just $5.54 was UCAR. UCAR ended up being a really big mover this morning. We can see it's already up here trading over $9 per share within the past minute. So from that opening range breakout level of $5.54, there was a really solid potential for a big trade on this setup. So my biggest complaint with my trading today was not being very aware of the overall market conditions and what was going on in the market. I was a little bit too focused with my other trades, and I kind of took these other trades off of my radar, and because of that I missed out on the trade with UCAR, which ended up being a really big runner. There was easily potential to make 30, 40, 50% on this trade, and I believe we had some traders in the chat that made some money on this. They were posting about it in the sixes, so I'm definitely happy to see that the group was able to make some money on this trade from the opening range breakout level, but at the same time, of course, I wish I would have gotten into this trade as well. One thing that I do want to point out about this is the fact that it didn't have its opening range breakout until 10:19 this morning, so almost an hour after the market opened. And one thing that I've noticed recently is the fact that the later in the morning an opening range breakout is, the more likely it is to have a bigger run. That's kind of just been a short-term pattern that I've noticed. The stocks that spike above their opening range very quickly at the market open seem to be a little bit less likely to hold on to those gains and continue to run throughout the morning, as opposed to a stock that pulls back at the market open and then later on recovers back through VWAP and back above that opening range. Those are the ones that I see end up having these bigger runs. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when it comes to trading these stocks that are gapping up and moving above their opening ranges. So with all of that being said, those were my two trades in the one trade that I definitely missed out on. At the end of the day, or at the end of the morning in this case, I took a loss of $688 with these two trades. After locking in $2,593 in profits yesterday, I'm not too upset with this trade, and I know that I'll be able to recover very quickly, but obviously the goal is always to make money when it comes to day trading, so there's definitely some things that I could have improved on with my trading today, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and apply some things to your own trading. Anyway, that's going to be a wrap for this video. If you enjoyed and found some value in it, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to, come trade with myself and the group in real time and hear about the stocks that we're trading in real time as well, there's going to be a link down below in the description for you to get signed up to the Market Master group. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck with your trading.